It's Chris Van Vliet in Cleveland, Ohio with Mr. Money in the Bank. He is Seth Rollins. And there it is right there.
There's money in the bank, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. I want to say welcome back to Cleveland because I know that you spent a lot of time in the Indies here wrestling for AIW and some other organizations.
Yeah, AIW, they caught me at a real early age. I think like 19 I first started working for them. So I have a long history here in Cleveland, as well as Ring of Honor. I did a couple of shows here for them too. So yeah, Cleveland's been very kind to me over the years.
Well, will it be kind to you this Sunday? TLC and S, I guess? Tables, ladders, and chairs, and stairs.
Yeah, man. All right. That's catching on. Good. We hit a few spots this morning, and some people forgot the stairs. So, oh well. But yeah, Sunday's a big one, man. Of all the matches I've had in Cleveland, I'm almost 100% certain that the main event tables match at TLC and S with John Cena is going to be my biggest, and hopefully Cleveland will be on my side. They're a pretty cool town, so we'll see what happens.
I love that you carry this around. I've talked to Dolph Ziggler a bunch of times when he's Mr. Money in the Bank. And what happens when you go through airport security with something that says Money in the Bank on it?
The security at my airport back home, they're pretty familiar with it at this point. You get the standard, remarks about how beat up it is because it's not quite in prime condition anymore.
Quite.
But then when I get to other airports, they get kind of weird about it. But and there's, they make remarks. And I had one lady, say something about it, like she thought it said monkey in the bank. And I was like, what? It's like real early in the morning, and I was not equipped to deal with that conversation at all. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly an attention drawer, that's for sure.
Do people ask hey, how much money is in there?
Yeah, they do. That was the end of my conversation with that lady. She was saying monkey, 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 and I was like, no, lady, it's money. Well, how much money's in there then? And I was like, oh.
Let me just get on my plane.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out from there. What a year you've been having. I mean, it's really incredible. Obviously, 2015 is going to be huge for you as well. What's your career highlights so far?
I mean, this entire year, realistically, has been a highlight for me. I've got some stuff in the past. Winning the Ring of Honor World Championship was awesome. Winning the WWE Tag Team Championships, making your WWE debut. Those are all pretty cool things. Probably number one for me so far, though, is main eventing a WWE pay-per-view. I got to do that a couple months back for the first time in a singles match at Hell in a Cell versus Dean Ambrose. To me, that was a very special thing. That was something, especially on a card with a John Cena versus Randy Orton match.
Yeah.
Not a lot of guys in the history of our company, while those two were employed, can say that they main evented a show above John and Randy. So that's probably my favorite one so far.
A lot of guys, when they get that call up from the indies to go to WWE, they want to do it on their own, and they don't want to do it as part of a faction. Do you think the Shield helped you or maybe held you back?
No, it was certainly a phenomenal catapult to where I'm at now. There's comfort in kind of doing things in numbers. You have people to rely on. You have teammates to get your back, make sure that you're not quite as you don't have to be as responsible and accountable as you would be when you're out there by yourself. So it's a bit of a safety net, and we were all so talented in the Shield together that I think it really put us on the map in a way that no one could have expected or really has seen before in WWE. So I thought it was great.
I mean, and what a run you had in NXT. What did it mean for you to be the first champ?
Man, it only means more every single time NXT has a show because I watched their show last night live on the WWE Network for $9.99. NXT Takeover Our Evolution, and dude, I literally was blown away by what that has become since Triple H has kind of taken over. And really, you got to understand, when I came to developmental 4 years ago, it was FCW in a warehouse. We were so detached from what WWE is. Now you get on there and you see guys like Finn Balor and Hideo Itami and Kevin Owens making his debut, and the way they present the women, and then you've got Zayn and Neville. So to answer your question, I got around it a little bit. Every time I see something like that and see what it's become from where it was, I become more and more proud that I was the first guy that really helped, springboard it into what it is.
I mean, there's so much talent in NXT. So many guys, I think, that are ready to make the jump to the main roster. Who are you most excited to see on the main roster?
I mean, aside from the guys that I mentioned just then, Zayn and Neville obviously are ready to go. The Ascension ready to go. The guys that I looked up to, the old Kenta, Itami, and Balor, who I never had to work with when he was Fergal Devitt. but also a kid named C.J. Parker, who I think is really, really good. Kind of doesn't get the credit because the crowd hates his guts down there. But he's super duper talented. He had a match with Kevin Owens the other night, and they did a really great job. I think he's someone to look out for as well.
I want to talk to you about the curb stomp because it's incredible. The way that you do it, the way that a lot of guys sell it, I think it's great. Where did you come up with this?
I actually came up with it by taking it, by being on the receiving end of it a couple times from a Japanese fellow named Naomichi Marufuji, who works for Pro Wrestling Noah, I think, over in Japan now. I wrestled him a couple times in Ring of Honor, and like I said, I was on the receiving end of that move and realized that it was quite devastating, and thought that, maybe I should start doing that instead of having it done to me. So he's the guy credited with inventing it, and he's the guy I took it from.
Well, how much say do you have in what your moveset's going to be? Or even, a lot of people knew you in the Indies as Tyler Black. How much say do you have in what your name's going to be, or the clothes you wear, or anything to do with your character?
I'd say you get a fair share, man. The best characters are extensions of ourselves, and there's certainly a lot of me and Seth Rollins, so I get a fair share. And when you're out there in the ring, there's nobody to tell you what to do or what you can and can't do. So you're pretty much like, I'm on my own. That's the freedom I enjoy, to paint that picture and tell the story in the best way I know how, and it seems to be quite effective.
Can you take me back to when you found out you were going to win Money in the Bank? Like, how long of a lead up was it to that night, and did you know what was going to come after that?
It's kind of one of those things where you're in the match, and based on my positioning going in, I kind of had a vibe for it, but I didn't really know for sure till the day of. WWE is an ever-changing, ever-evolving kind of business, so I never, what's the count your chickens before they hatch sort of thing? Yeah, I never really do that. So honestly, I swear to you, it wasn't a real thing until I took the briefcase off of the rung. So until that happened, and I knew that they couldn't change it on me. Yeah. It was a pretty awesome moment, though. It was pretty special for me. If you look at the legacy of the guys who've carried this briefcase before, the percentage of cash-ins that have gone well, that means a lot. That basically, sets the tone for, where you're going to be in the future. So it's a huge moment, no lie, especially for a young wrestler as myself. It's pretty cool.
Well, when they say to you, Seth, you're going to win Money in the Bank, did they say, because in 6 months we have this in mind for you, or 8 months we have this in mind for you?
No, sir. In our business in WWE, that doesn't work, because you've got injuries and things that happen on a night-to-night basis that you cannot account for. Planning for the future is nice, but not to say that things are done on a whim, but I mean, they just have to be sometimes. You can't account for how the fans are going to be 6 months from now, sure, or how well I'm going to do with the briefcase in the spot that I'm in. Essentially, all we're ever given in life and in WWE are opportunities, and if you don't cash in, pardon the pun, you're going to get left in the dust. So it's one of those things that, like I said, I'm fortunate to have the opportunity. I think I've done pretty all right since they gave me that spot. So we're just kind of trudging along and waiting until the champ shows back up, and we'll see what happens then.
You talk about the champ showing back up. Is it weird for you to carry the briefcase around when there's not someone to cash in on every single week?
I don't think it's weird. It's weird to not have a champion there, but at the same time, it makes those few hours that he is with us all the more exciting, right? So you kind of all those moments that he's not there, or that he could be there, those watered down moments that every week to week to week people get used to it. Now it's like, oh shoot, the dude's there like once every 3 months, so this could be it. You know what I'm saying? Right. There's no other opportunity. So I don't think it's weird, and what it symbolizes, carrying it around just because I can't cash it in at the moment doesn't mean that it doesn't symbolize that I'm the future of WWE. That's the most important thing to me, I think.
But if you do cash in, you're going to be there every single week. You're not going to show up 3 pay-per-views from now and defend the title then. And you work so hard for it. What does that say for the current champion who's not there all the time?
He's in a different situation, That's something that you're entirely right on. If I cash in on him and become the champion, I'll be there every single night, every single live event, every single Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. I'll be there at every pay-per-view. like I said, he's on a different place right now. That's not the kind of schedule he wants to keep in his ripe old age. But that's neither here nor there. That's not my call. So I just do what I can to make the best of my situation, try not to worry about what he's up to.
Well, I want to talk about your situation at Survivor Series. And Sting cost you the match, but as a wrestling fan, how cool was it to see Sting in the WWE?
You know, over the course of my few years in WWE, I've had the opportunity to share the ring with a lot of legends. Sting is one of those guys that you never really think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never really think you're going to get the opportunity to share a ring with someone who has never stepped foot in a WWE ring before. So that's one of those beyond bucket list things, to be honest with you, because growing up, you say, oh, I'd love to have a match with that guy, I'd love to have a match with that guy, I'd love to be in the ring with him. Sting's one of those that you don't even make that, I would love to do this, because it's not even in the realm of possibility. So for that to go down, for me, a kid who dressed up and painted my face as Sting for Halloween multiple years in a row in my teenage years, to be able to share a ring and say that piece of crap cost me my win at Survivor Series, that's pretty awesome.
So who's next on the bucket list? If there's someone you wish you could have that dream WrestleMania match with, who would it be?
Ah, man, he's so retired right now, though. I think
that's fine.
We'll
unretire him for this conversation.
I mean, he's come out of retirement more than once. So Shawn Michaels would be my guy. If you know, I don't know what his old body's doing these days. I know he's enjoying himself down in Texas with his family, and he's got his hunting show and all this stuff. But if I could ever lure him out of retirement for one more match, maybe at WrestleMania, that would kind of be the guy that would that'd seal the deal for me.
Yeah, what a match that would be. That'd be incredible. We want to talk about another guy who's not in wrestling right now, but is making waves. CM Punk just announced he's going to UFC. Mm-hmm. How do you think he's going to do there?
You know, Punk is a goal-oriented kind of guy. He's very driven, very focused, very passionate about what he puts his mind to. And if he's in love with something, he'll go after it 100%. So that's just the kind of work ethic he has. He's never had any experience, from what I understand, in an octagon. I know that's not going to sit too pretty with a lot of the UFC fighters who really work their butt off to earn those contracts. But Punk is a draw, and he will prove that. I promise you. When he fights, people will pay to see it. As far as how well he's going to fare, I can't make any predictions. I'm not one to doubt the guy. He may pull through, but he may also end up in some sort of chokehold that he regrets. So either way, I'm gonna pay to see it, and I think that's the whole point.
I think everyone's going to be paying to see it, and those buy rates are just going to skyrocket. Mm-hmm. You talk about how you're there every week and how you love this business. Vince had some very interesting comments on the Stone Cold podcast. He said that the locker room right now lacks ambition. You seem very ambitious, though. How does that sit with you?
You know, Vince was very kind to mention my name after he made that comment as one of the guys who was reaching for that proverbial brass ring. But at the same time, to me, that really lit a fire into me. And I mean, there's a bunch of other ways I can say that, but I don't like hearing that. And even though I appreciate the fact that he did kind of separate a few of us from the pack when talking about that situation. At the same time, you got to understand how badly I do want it and how ambitious I've been my entire life in getting to this point. You know, and it hasn't just been for me a situation where I went from A to Z, where I jumped from A to Z. I've had all these letters in between, all these opportunities in between that I've been able to turn into successful situations for me, and now here we are, and I'm main eventing with John Cena, TLC, in a tables match. So for anyone to say that I'm not reaching for a brass ring or whatever you want to call it, it's just asinine at this point. All I've ever done my entire life is dedicated to professional wrestling, to WWE, and I'm certainly, if not holding on to that brass ring, reaching to grab it. So, you know, I know what Vince was doing. I understand what he was saying. Do I agree with it? Not so much.
I mean, we just talked about how great 2014's been for you. What's in store for 2015?
I mean, it only gets better, right? You know, if I don't cash this briefcase in before then that's going to be the year. I don't have an opportunity after that. So I've got till July of 2015 to get that thing done. You know, WrestleMania is coming up. WrestleMania 31, hugest one we're ever going to have, I think, out in Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. So between those things and the possibility of continuing the run that I've had in 2014, it's shaping up to be the year of Rollins.
What do you need to accomplish in your WWE career for you to be really proud to look back when you're finished with it?
I don't think I'm not one of, and I'm a goal-oriented guy too, but I don't think that I'm one of those guys that like I have to do this, have to do that. You know, I know Punk, for example, one of these guys we're talking about, was fixated on main eventing at WrestleMania, and for him, he at some point, he'll feel like a failure because he didn't get that done. For me, it's not really about that. I love this business. I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish. I've been able to accomplish a lot of those, achieve dreams that most people don't get the opportunity to achieve. For me, it's just about, at this point, leaving a legacy that I can be proud of. It has nothing to do with winning 600 championships or main eventing all the WrestleManias. I mean, those are great things and stuff I want to accomplish. 600's probably a little high.
Maybe a bit.
Yeah, but it's mostly about just leaving a legacy that you can be proud of. You know what I mean? I don't care if I'm ever inducted into the Hall of Fame or all that stuff. I want to be able to say that I left the business in a better place than when I found it. And I think if I can do that and I can say that I made proper contributions, then I'll be proud of what I've done.
Well, you're going to be making some contributions this Sunday. It's TLC, live at the Quicken Loans Arena. Seth Rollins, appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.